Life beyond the waves inside a U.S. Navy sailor's world. The ocean has its own heartbeat, a rhythm that only sailors understand. For Seaman Lana Rivera, every sunrise over the endless blue reminded her of why she joined the Navy. It wasn't just about serving her country, it was about living a life most people only imagine. It was 0530 hours aboard the USS Mason, DDG-87, a guided missile destroyer cutting through the Indian Ocean. Lana zipped up her navy blue coveralls, tied her hair tight, and stepped out onto the deck. The morning wind was cool, brushing across her face, and the rising sun painted the waves gold. Year a day at sea. The ship was alive. Every hallway echoed with footsteps, orders, and the hum of machinery. Engineers were checking turbines, navigators reviewed maps, and officers gave precise commands from the bridge. Lana worked in communications, a role that demanded accuracy and focus. Her job: to maintain secure radio contact and send encrypted messages to the fleet. One mistake could cost lives. "Morning, Rivera," said Petty Officer Marcus Hill, handing her a steaming cup of black coffee. "Morning, Chief," she smiled. Coffee wasn't just a drink out there, it was survival fuel. By 0700, the crew lined up in the galley, the ship's dining area. The smell of bacon, eggs, and coffee filled the air. For a few precious minutes, the crew wasn't made up of ranks or titles, just people, laughing and eating together. "Pass the syrup," someone yelled, and everyone burst out laughing. Moments like this made the hard times bearable. Person lifting weights training never stops. After breakfast came the part no one escaped: training. In the Navy, you trained every day, no matter how tired you were. Physical fitness was more than pride, it was survival. In the ship's compact gym, metal clanged and boots thudded on the deck as sailors lifted weights, ran, and did push-ups. Sweat was everywhere. Even after long shifts, most still worked out. You never knew when your body would be the difference between life and death. Later, it was damage control drills. The crew practiced sealing leaks, fighting simulated fires, and maneuvering through dark, smoke-filled spaces with heavy gear on. Sweat mixed with seawater, but no one complained. On a ship, every person had to be ready for anything, always. Revolving light moments between calm and chaos. Suddenly, the calm shattered. A loud alarm echoed through the ship. "General quarters. All hands to battle stations." Within seconds, the crew was in motion. Boots pounded the metal floors, radios crackled, and the once relaxed faces turned focused and alert. Lana slipped on her headset and connected the communications lines between the bridge and the operations center. This wasn't a drill. A foreign vessel had been detected. Too close, too fast. Her heart pounded, but her voice stayed steady. She relayed commands, monitored signals, and waited. The captain's voice broke through the tension. "Maintain course. Prepare for maneuver." For 30 minutes, every muscle on the ship was tight with adrenaline. Then, silence. The unidentified vessel changed course. The threat was gone. A long sigh passed through the crew. Some laughed nervously, others simply nodded to each other. That was Navy life. Peace and danger lived side by side. Fork and knife with plate food, friendship, and family. Dinner on the ship wasn't fancy, but it was everything. Plates of rice, chicken, potatoes, and vegetables lined the trays. Cans of energy drinks sat next to them. In the galley, laughter filled the air again. These moments were sacred, a reminder that even in the middle of the ocean, you were part of a family. "Remember boot camp?" Hill said with a grin. "Don't remind me," Lana laughed. Mud, yelling, no sleep, but yeah, I'd do it again. After dinner, sailors split up. Some hit the gym again, others played video games, read books, or called home. Lana sat in front of her laptop, smiling as her parents appeared on the screen. Her mom always asked, "Are you eating enough?" Her dad, proud and quiet, just nodded with a small smile. Even through a screen, love felt real. Globe life in foreign ports. Every few weeks, the ship docked at a foreign port, giving the sailors a few precious hours of freedom. In one Middle Eastern city, the crew walked through colorful markets, filled with fabrics, spices, and street food stalls. The smell of grilled meat and baked bread filled the air. Lana and her friends tried new dishes, bargained for souvenirs, and took photos to remember it all. Locals were always curious about the American sailors, how they lived, what the Navy was like. Lana smiled and said, "It's tough, but it's worth it." It reminded her that their mission wasn't just about defense. It was also about connection, showing respect and building bridges, one port at a time. Biceps the hardest days. But not every day was good. Some days, the sea turned wild, waves crashing hard enough to shake the bunks. Sleep was rare, and exhaustion was normal. There were nights when the ship felt endless, and loneliness crept in quietly. Birthdays were missed, weddings watched only through screens, and holidays passed with no fireworks, just stars and the ocean. There were also drills at midnight, engine malfunctions, and storms that made even the bravest sailors nervous. But through every challenge, one thing stayed the same. They endured. That's what being in the Navy meant. You faced fear, you faced fatigue, and still, you showed up. Saluting faced the spirit of service. The Navy was more than a uniform. It was a promise to protect, to serve, and to stand strong, no matter what. Lana learned that courage wasn't the absence of fear. It was choosing to move forward despite it. She remembered her first day in uniform, nervous, unsure, wondering if she'd made the right choice. Now, as she stood on the deck watching the sunset with her crewmates, she knew she had. The ocean had changed her. It had taught her patience, strength, and pride. Sunrise, end of watch. That night, the sky was a blanket of stars. The waves shimmered under the moonlight, and the ship glided quietly forward. Lana leaned against the railing, whispering softly, "This is home." Behind her, laughter came from the mess hall, sailors joking, eating, and living. Ahead of her, the sea stretched forever, their mission never truly over. Because the Navy was more than service. It was about heart, sacrifice, and belonging to something greater than yourself. Checkered flag homecoming. Months later, when the USS Mason finally returned to port, families lined the docks holding banners and waving flags. Lana's mother hugged her so tight she could barely breathe. "You've changed," her mom said. "Yeah," Lana smiled, "for the better." She had grown stronger, not just in body, but in spirit. The Navy had given her discipline, courage, and friendships that would last a lifetime. The sea would always call her name. And no matter where she went, one truth would remain. She was, and would always be, a United States sailor. What life is really like in the Navy.